Hello. In this video, we'll talk about different communication tools or outcomes that we can come out with using Notebook LM. So what we've done so far is basically we've introduced two tools. One is Notebook LM. The other is Google AI Studio. We have seen how we can use them for analysis and for research, for literature review. We have also looked at how Google Studio AI and in a very small way, even your Notebook LM can be used for data analysis. So in Notebook LM, what we saw was the fact that you can upload up to 50 documents and you can basically cull out information relevant to the query that you have, and it will create a table with the information inside it. So that is the extent till which analysis can be done in Notebook LM. In Google Studio AI, obviously, we've seen how it can be used extensively to analyze data sets. We have also seen how we can build apps for creating visualizations which are compelling and which can also be used, can be downloaded, can be embedded in your website, and can be done anything. We have also looked at how beyond that, apps can be used to create almost any kind of idea that you have or any kind of workflow you have that is repetitive. So for any kind of repetitive workflow, you can use it. So now what we're looking at is basically uh, how AI can be used to create content, multilingual content, and for effective communication and outreach. So we look at how Notebook LM can come really handy in this one thing. So what we have looked at so far is basically the prompt bit of it and how to import uh, different sources, which is basically the sources tab on the left hand side, and how to search for additional sources on the internet. Now, when we come to the right hand side, which is basically the studio side, you can see there are 6 things that you can do, and also the fact that they can be done in different languages. So you can create podcasts or audio overview, and they support almost all Indian languages, besides obviously English and other international languages as well. So how do we do that? We click on this tab, this pencil over here, and you see a series of options of formats. So you can ask it to deep dive, which will be slightly longish in terms of the audio piece, a brief, a critique, a debate, and you can also decide the short, default, or long length of the audio file. You can also choose the language from here. So you can go to Hindi, you can go to Bangla, you can go to Marathi or English or whatever language you want to create the content in. And finally, the way we know always, you can create prompts over here. You can actually give prompts the way you want to. So that is something. So you can give the persona, the purpose, the length, and other things. So you can basically give a specific prompt. And once you've done that, you can actually click on generate and it'll create content, an audio file. The other beautiful thing about this is you can also decide which sources you want to be included while creating the audio file. So this checkbox comes handy. So you can either do it on these two alone, or you can do it on all of them, or you can do it on one of them. So you can create multiple audio files depending, and you can identify the sources that you want to use to create those audio files. So that is another thing that you can do. I'm not clicking on it right now because I've already done it, because generating these audio files take a while. So I'll just show you the quality of the audio files that are created actually. So I did one with Hindi. So I'm just playing it right now.
द डिबेट में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम एक बहुत ही मुश्किल सवाल पर बात कर रहे हैं। क्लाइमेट चेंज से लड़ने में असल में कितना खर्च आएगा और इसका हिसाब कैसे लगाया जाए। यूएनएफसीसी की एक रिपोर्ट कहती है कि विकासशील देशों को हर साल खरबों रुपए चाहिए।
हम उनकी तुलना कैसे करेंगे?
So there are two
ये तो
voices
सेब
that
और
have been
संतरे
used
की
over
तुलना
here.
करने जैसा हो गया।
यहीं पर जबकि मॉडल वो समुद्री किनारों की सुरक्षा पर।
हम कैसे
So
जानेंगे कि
this
पैसा
is
सही
basically
जगह
how it
जुड़ा
is.
है या नहीं?
What you can also
मॉडल
do
हमें
is, once you've created this audio file, you can download the audio file directly onto your computer, or you can also share it with others. So these are the two things that you can do. So if you download the audio file, it gets downloaded as an MP4, MP3 format, I think. So you can see that it is downloaded now. M4A is basically the format that it has downloaded in.
The
So,
debate में आपका
so it's that convenient to create audio files, and they are very realistic audio files if you if you listen to them. And the other thing that you can do is video overview. Similar options to choose from. You can identify whether you want an explainer or a brief kind of an overview. You can identify the language within which you want it to be created, and you can also opt for some of the visual styles that you want to pick up from here, or you can even make a custom visual style as well. And in a custom visual style, you can actually give what exactly is the style for the video that you want to pick up with. Like over here, it's given a children's storybook illustration. You can give any other style that you want. These are, so you can attempt a couple of, so basically what you're doing is you're giving prompts again. And again, a detailed prompt can also be given over here. So if you try it like a few times, you can get a style that actually works with the kind of content that you're working with, or you can even go for the standard ones if that works for you. The problem is when you use the standard ones several times, it becomes repetitive in terms of what it generates or the way it structures the arguments and all. So you can actually try and find a style which works best for the kind of content that you create. I've also done this. So where is it? So this is basically what it is. This I did in English. So I'll just put it on full screen and I'll just show it to you how it works. One second.
Okay, let's talk about a huge problem, the vicious cycle between climate change and debt. Get this, a tiny island nation is literally selling citizenship just to survive climate change. But this isn't just one country story. It's a massive global problem. So what's going on? First up, let's talk about the money. There's a huge gap between what's needed and what's actually there. The UN says developing countries need at least $215 billion every single year just to adapt. Now,
And similarly, you can download this as well. So basically, you have this download button at the top and you can download it as well. So you can create podcasts or audio files, series of audio files and podcasts. You can create series of videos, files, and in absolutely all the languages you can possibly think of. You can also create mind maps. Mind map is basically, it is being created. I have already created it. So when you click on it, this is basically how it happens. So it is basically saying that it is creating mind maps based on 4 sources, and it is basically getting generated. I have a mind map created, but mind maps usually don't take a lot of time. Okay, so this is created. So mind map is a wonderful way of exploring the content. So it basically is saying that the overarching idea within this is gap updates of debt and climate crisis. And then within that, there is some conversation around adaptation finance gap. If you further open it, it has something to do with definition and status, updates and la la la, and then sovereign debt and crisis. So it's a wonderful way if you're trying to explain something. So, or if you want to explore the length and breadth of the information that exists within the document. So what we did earlier was basically we were asking specific questions and the questions were being answered. But if you want to understand what kind of things are there within the contents that you've uploaded, this is a wonderful way of exploring it, like a flowchart kind of a thing. Then you have an option to create reports. So reports, there are again some formats that are available and you can create your own report format. There are briefing documents, study guides, blog posts, policy briefs, strategic plans and blah and blah and lesson plans as well. So this is the amount of information that is there. I'll just open. I had created a study guide and let's have a look at the study guide over here. One second. Yeah. Study guide for climate adaptation finance and the sovereign fund, debt crisis, short answers. So answer the following questions in 2 to 3 sentences using only information from the source context. what is adaptation fund and why is it currently, what is the current estimated size of those? And the answer is given at the bottom. The adaptation gap, finance gap, is the difference between the estimated costs of meeting adaptation targets and the amount of finance available. The current gap is estimated to be between 194 billion to 366 billion per year. So basically, there are 10 questions and answers. Then there are essay type questions and answers. And then there is a glossary. Okay, there are essay type questions. Then there is a glossary. And you can obviously ask these questions, the answers, by copy pasting them over here as well. So this is basically what it can do. Then there are flashcards. Flashcards are also wonderful for learning. Let me just see. This is the flashcard it has created. Flashcards are basically, and you can actually put it up on your social media as well directly. What is the definition of adaptation finance gap according to UNEP? The answer is this. If you want, you can also explain it further. So the explanation comes on the left-hand side in the chat box. So there are 71 flashcards it has created. Let me just see what format. So it is saved in a CSV format, in an Excel format. That basically means that there'll be the question in one of the columns and then the answer in another. So this is the question, and then this is the answer. So all your questions and answer, 71 of them, 71 of them have been pushed out over here, flashcards. What you can also do is you can create a quiz, and this is basically what the quiz looks like. So what is the adaptation finance? What is the adaptation finance gap? The money lost because of damage, blah, blah, blah. The money required to complete, blah, blah, blah. The difference between, so this is the answer. So it says that's right. And if you again want to explain, it'll give you the explanation over here. The report identifies a gap, blah, 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 blah. If I pick up another and do something wrong, then this is the explanation, and then it gives you the right answer as well. So this is another thing that you can possibly do. The only thing is that in the quiz option, you don't have the option to download it. So I'd given it for beginners and children, the custom prompt that I'd given with this. So quiz cannot be downloaded is what I think. Let me just check nonetheless, because they keep on changing things. Yeah, you can share it, you can customize the prompt, but you can't download the quiz right now. So unlike the flashcard, which can be downloaded, which we just did, we downloaded the flashcard and came in a CSV format. So that's one good thing about flashcards. So if you see, you can create so many different communication outcomes for different platforms, and you can basically, just by clicking a few buttons here and there, create a plethora of things which can keep your communication and your outreach, specifically social media outreach, and even report writing and everything. It becomes very easy. The only thing that I would again reiterate, which is something that is very important. So all of these things look very nice. They help save a lot of time. But what you need to also understand and appreciate is that they might get wrong. So whatever you're pushing out, please double check the responses. Please double check at least the things that you are actually going to communicate or push out, or help with things that will help you decide things. So you have to cross check those as well. Otherwise, this is a wonderful, wonderful platform to create so many different kinds of things over here. I'll see you in the next video.